Hey everybody, welcome back to another Versus Matchup episode presented by BP Fun. I'm Captain Zeus, that there is Lucky, and we have a very interesting matchup for you guys. One that's been debated about a lot, actually. For those of you that don't know, Versus, our series, is essentially we just take two entities, whether they're groups or people, and we discuss on who would win in a fight against each other. Now, this matchup that we're going to talk about is a fan favorite, Batman versus Superman. I know a lot of you guys have interesting debates on this, so please let us know in the comments what you guys think. I'm taking the stance of Batman, the Dark Knight. Lucky's going to take the stance of the Man in Steel himself, Superman. I'm actually going to start first this time. It's been a minute since I started off first. This is going to be a Batman win. Obviously, that's why I'm taking the stance, of course. Now, we've seen this in a multitude of different forms of media through the animation movies as well as the comic series themselves. Batman has beaten Superman time and time again. Now, one of the things that Batman liked to say, one of the lines that he says in the Hush comic run and even in the Hush terrible movie is that deep down, Clark is a good guy. Deep down, Bruce is not.
Deep down, he's a good person. And deep down, I'm not.
And that's how Batman wins every single time. Not only with his superior intellect as a detective and, the Dark Knight, but his multitude of fighting styles and combat styles that he knows he's able to take down Superman. Now, even without Kryptonite, he could still beat him. I mean, look at what happened in The Dark Knight Returns, the animated movie, as well as the comic. Batman was like 50, 60, 70 years old, going up against Superman, who essentially really didn't age that much. And he was able to beat him essentially in his robo suit. He had his own Iron Man suit and he was beating up Superman. He didn't need the kryptonite until the very end. And even then, he still let Superman live. And he mentioned, he's like,
but I didn't have to go easy on you. A different binding agent, a stronger mix. I want you to remember that. I wanted to remind you to stay out of my way. In all the years to come, in your most private moments, I want you to remember the one man who beat you.
Killed him in that one shot. And even in the Hush movie, as well as the comic run, he has used kryptonite freaking knuckles and just beat the living crap out of Superman. Granted, Superman was under Poison Ivy's control, but that still puts like limits off of you, if you will, because your one motive is to do what she says. Now, again, Batman has a plethora of different gadgets, vehicles, weapons that he can use against Superman. Superman's only weakness isn't just kryptonite, it's also magic. And we saw in the Batman Dark Knight Returns movie in comic run, it's also high frequencies. If he has any magical items that he can get from Constantine, Zatanna, whatever, he's able to also knock Superman on his butt. Like, Superman has a plethora of weaknesses, and the fact that he doesn't want to actually kill people. He's a good person. He's that kid from Smallville, it's even another weakness on top of it. And Batman, if he's gonna beat someone, he's gonna beat someone. No matter what it takes, he will plan. Even if he doesn't have a plan, he will do what he can to beat the crap out of that person and show that he is victorious. And honestly, I don't even know why people think Superman's gonna win against this guy. They're best friends, and Batman has had contingency plans for every single Justice League member, and even if we saw in the Justice League Doom movie, for example, those plans work. He had entrapped all of those Justice League members, and Batman's like, okay, that was me, someone stole my plans, now I know how to beat those plans, basically. He's got contingency plans for his contingency plans. Like, this man is on a whole different level. And he's even gone toe-to-toe with Darkseid, for crying out loud. When Darkseid took his son, this man put it on his death-defying suit to go and beat the crap out of Darkseid to get him back his son. Like, dude, Batman is on a whole different level.
And that's a great stance, Zeus, and I'm happy that you took that stance. Because I would like to say, Batman is a historically great character, but unfortunately today he's going to have to take the L. I want to raise one thing about this, Zeus. You said that, and I agree, that Superman's core is a good person, right? What happens if we remove that good person? What happens in a scenario kind of like Injustice, right? Where that good person is gone, and there's nothing but the death and destruction. I've also heard Superman say in comics, I'm not sure exactly what one, but I could totally look it up. But he said in comics that he would never kill his best friend being Batman, right? But he could in less than a second if he really wanted to. Now, when it comes down to that, right? We've seen an enraged Superman, just like you said with Batman. He has taken on Darkseid, right? He has taken on those planetary level threats. They literally serve in the Justice League together. So most threats that Batman has fought against, Superman has had his hands in as well. Superman obviously does not have the intellect of Batman, but honestly, he makes up for it in what he's able to do. There's a reason why in Zack Snyder's Justice League, excuse me, there's a reason why Bruce Wayne is looking for a way to bring Superman back. And you know why that is? It's because without Superman, that is your trump card. That is your team's trump card. If Superman has the means, right? If you piss him off enough, for lack of a better term, we have seen what Superman can do. And we know what Superman can do. We understand. That's why they've made characters such as Omni-Man. That's why they've made the Homelanders. People are trying to copy Superman. People are trying to be like Clark Kent. You know what I mean? That he is the OG of the guy with the cape who has all these powers, can block bullets, and do all that. You know what I mean? And just as you said, Zeus, right? I agree with you. Batman is able to, he has a game plan. He has a plan for a plan for a plan, right? But do you think that Superman doesn't know this as Batman's best friend, right? He understands that Batman has kryptonite. He understands, and he doesn't have to be the smartest in the world, right? All he has to do is put him in a position, right? Put Batman in a position where his utility belt and he's away from kryptonite. And I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter. It does not matter what bats can do, because if you punch him, it doesn't work. He blocks bullets. Great job. If you try to hit him with a car, fantastic, man. I've seen that dude catch like nuclear warheads. You know what I mean? Like, that dude does more than that. Just, I feel like and I agree with you, 9 times out of 10, Batman would beat Superman because he's a good guy. But in this fight, I'm going with the idea of he has lost everything, and it has something to do with bats. And it has something to do with, and I'm telling you right now, there's no place that he could hide. There's no place that he could run. The X-ray vision, the cold breath, the heat vision, any way you want it, bats, he can serve it to you. And that, I feel like if you put him in a position where he loses what he loves and he's a cold-hearted Superman, I just don't see Batman still being a human, right? I don't see him able to match Superman. And just raw, he's there, he does not care. Strip the morals, strip what happens, you know what I mean? Whatever happens, happens. I just do not believe Batman has the resources for a guy like Superman, all things considered, ripped. Things considered, and he's a good guy, and he's just trying to be there. Yes, Batman's a smart guy. He has a plan for everything, 110%. But you do not have a plan for you're asleep in bed, right? Or you had just gotten back to the Batcave, and Superman comes crashing through the Batcave, picking you up by your neck and just strangling you to death. Like, that's not a plan. You know what I mean? That's just him executing something because he is, at the end of the day, the Man of Steel, and he is the Kryptonian. And if you do not have that in place, and say you do not know what happened previously, so you don't know that Superman is struggling with something mentally, you do not know that he is under potential mind control, you do not know these things, it will be a KO for Superman. It will. I just don't think Batman has.
I mean, these are some interesting points you bring up, and I like the fact that you had to say the 1 out of 10 scenario is when Superman would win, when 99.999% of the time, that never happens. That only happens in alternate timelines. And even in said alternate timelines, like the Injustice timeline where Superman loses everything, Batman still wins. He still beats him, whether it was with his pals, where it was groups against groups, or whether it was one-on-one, he still beats him. And yeah, I mean, sure, Clark is his best friend, and sure, he knows that Batman has plans, but that doesn't mean he knows what those plans are. Now, in Zack Snyder's Justice League, or Zack Snyder's universe, if you will, I feel the only reason he was trying to bring him back was, one, because there was another alien threat, and who better to fight aliens than aliens, and two, he felt so guilty that he had to die because of him. He literally, in that movie alone, who beat Superman again? It was Batman. Crazy, huh? Man, it's so crazy how in multiple iterations, live action, animated, and comics, Batman has beaten Superman time and time again. But I mean, hey, sure, we'll go with the Injustice timeline where Superman still takes the L. Oh, I'm so scared.
He does win 99.9% of the time. But that 0.1% of the time, Zeus, you know it. You know it for a fact. Oh, you do. If he was to lose all morals and all respect for Batman and say he didn't care about the civilians, say he didn't care about, oh boy, Bats would be dead. Oh boy, Bats would be dead. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely not. But hey, you know what? You guys in the comments, let us know what you guys think about this matchup here. Is Lucky making valid points? Is this a Superman dub, easy peasy lemon squeezy? Is this a Batman dub? Because here we've just seen it time and time again. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. I'm Captain Zeus. That's There Is Lucky, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
Okay.